SpongeBob SquarePants Mysteries. Find a missing star. Chapter 5. In a dimly lit building in downtown Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob and Squidward rode the elevator up to the 4th floor. The doors opened and they walked down the empty hallway to the office of Philip Marlin, Private Eye. Their footsteps echoed, the squeak of SpongeBob's shiny black shoes and the squish of Squidward's tentacles. The last door on the right had frosted glass with Marlin's name stenciled on it over a drawing of a big eye. Squidward knocked, and a low, gravelly voice said, "Yeah?" SpongeBob took that as his cue to open the door. Inside, he saw a fish in a brown hat leaning back in an old office chair with his feet propped up on his battered desk. "Mr. Marlin?" SpongeBob asked. "Who wants to know?" The fish growled without looking up. SpongeBob grinned nervously. "I do. That's why I asked." "And who might you be?" "SpongeBob SquarePants," he said. "And this is my friend Squidward Tentacles." "We're really just co-workers," Squidward said. "Also neighbors, unfortunately." The detective tipped his hat back with his thumb. "Okay, SquarePants and Tentacles, come on in and take a seat. Better yet, take 2 seats." He laughed, a short, hollow, humorous snort of a laugh. SpongeBob giggled, sitting on a scuffed wooden chair. "Good one, Mr. Marlin." Squidward sat on an upholstered easy chair with stuffing sticking out of holes in the cushion. He shifted in his seat, trying and failing to get comfortable. Marlin pulled a bottle out of a drawer in his desk and poured himself a drink. He held the bottle toward his 2 potential clients. "Salty soda?" "No thanks," they said. "Suit yourself." Gah. The detective tossed back the drink in one gulp. "So, what's the problem, SquarePants? You look as worried as a bubble in a needle factory." SpongeBob leaned forward in his chair, rubbing his hands on the legs of his shorts. "It's my friend, Patrick, Mr. Marlin. He's missing." The Private Eye nodded his head slowly. "Missing, huh?" "Yeah, missing," Squidward echoed. Marlin stood up and walked over to the window. He separated the dusty slats of the shade and peered out at the tall buildings of downtown Bikini Bottom. "You know, a lot of people look at Bikini Bottom and they see a bustling city with bright lights and shiny boats driving down the street tooting their horns. Lively, exciting, fun. But you know what I see?" SpongeBob and Squidward shook their heads. "A cesspool." "Huh?" SpongeBob said. He loved Bikini Bottom. He never thought of his hometown as a cesspool, not for a second. "A stinkin', lousy cesspool," Marlin said bitterly, "where people do bad things, and every day someone goes missing. Some of those missing people get found, but most of them don't. Most of them are never seen again." He stared out the window, frowning. Squidward was growing impatient. He didn't much like this Private Eye with his hard-boiled manner and his gruff talk. "So what are you saying, Mr. Marlin? Can you find Patrick or not?" Marlin turned back to Squidward and SpongeBob. "Sure," he said wearily. "I can find your friend, no sweat." "That's great!" SpongeBob said enthusiastically. "Okay, his last name is Star, and he's a pink sea star, and he was last seen wearing green shorts with big purple flowers on them." "But it'll cost you, pal," Marlin interrupted, "and I get paid up front." SpongeBob and Squidward looked at each other. They turned their pockets inside out but found only sand, lint, buttons, shells, sand, a few pebbles, and gum, crunchy with sand. Will this be enough?" SpongeBob asked hopefully, holding out the handful of sticky trinkets. Wham! Marlin slammed his office door shut after he tossed SpongeBob and Squidward into the hallway. They sat on the cold floor for a moment, rubbing their heads and elbows, while they knocked into the grimy wall. Ugh, right, Squidward groaned. So we can't afford a private eye. Maybe Mr. Krabs will pay for it, SpongeBob suggested. They were silent for a moment, and busted out laughing at the very idea. But seriously, Squidward said, wiping away tears of mirth. What do we do now? We've tried the police and a private detective. What's next? The lost and found department at the Bikini Bottom Library? He snorted through his big nose, laughing at his own joke. Library. When SpongeBob didn't answer, Squidward looked at him and saw that a strange expression had come over his co-worker's face. It was an expression he never seen on the sweet little Sponge's face before. And if he didn't know better, he'd say that SpongeBob was looking tough. Stay tuned for Chapter 6, coming up soon.